Today I'm going to share with you why I created Beyond SnapWords activities and also share with you how they can become your new go-to resource as you're teaching reading to your students. It was 2003 and I was teaching a first grade classroom. We were required to teach 100 sight words that year, and so I set to work. I put words on the word wall, I made checklists, I gave kids lists to take home, and I ran into some problems that I think are pretty common in the classroom. I found that a lot of children just really struggle to memorize words. They just had a really hard time looking at a list of words and somehow getting them to stick to their brain. The motivation was missing. Can you imagine a kindergartner, first grade, second grader having any reason to want to memorize words? Often I found that even if the child could memorize words, once they were off the list and into a book, they had never seen the words before, so they weren't making that transition. I also found that kids were not able to write their sight words when they had to do a writing assignment. It was like they were blank. They had no idea. Often the children didn't know what the words meant. And, on my end of it, I felt like I was spending my time scrambling to find resources that would help my kids and that would teach the things they needed to know. The solution, and what I want to share with you today, is that I learned over time to pair two resources together. I had created SnapWords a couple years before, and that year in 2003, I had kind of a rough copy that I had printed off my computer, and bringing those into the classroom solved some of those problems. The kids loved the color. They loved the fact that the cards showed, you can tell in this word jump, it shows what the word means. This was a far cry from their list of boring words that they had to memorize. There was a body motion that helped those kids that were tactile and kinesthetic remember the word. And so this helped with engagement. It helped with kids being able to access visual memory and bypass having to memorize. But the other problems persisted. So in creating Beyond SnapWords activities, we were able to also continue the engagement mode, because these are all activities that are game-based. It involves peer collaboration, it's solving problems, it's all hands-on, and it's just, to them, it's not like school as they once knew it. So the motivation factor is really there. The benefit to the teacher, then I would have loved to have had this when I was in the classroom too, is that the resource is done for you. The CDs are color-coded to go with each level of sight words. So in the amount of time that you allot to teaching sight words, you can also teach all the essential components of reading using those sight words as a springboard. This is not only a time saver in a really packed, busy schedule for the teacher, but you are not going to have to run around looking for materials to use. These are the types of activities and the skills that are covered by this Beyond SnapWords activities. The first, of course, is word recognition, spelling patterns, phonics, phonemic awareness, the alphabetic principle, higher level thinking, reading in context, comprehension, and then there are the assessments at every level, tracking charts, plain word wall words, and even achievement certificates. So everything is in there for you. The best way to get started with Beyond SnapWords is to put your CD in the computer and print out all your tracking sheets, because you need to do a pre-assessment to find out for every child in your classroom, where exactly are they? What do they know? You don't want to teach a group of children something that they already know. So each of these CDs has 5 different difficulty levels. They start with CD A, which has 5 levels, and so by doing the pre-assessment, you can go down the list of the kids in your room and you can say, this one is on List A, level 3, this one's on list A, level 1, this one's on list B, level 4, and so on. So after you do the pre-assessment, it makes it very easy for you to group your children into reading groups. That's how I taught in the classroom, was teaching groups of children that had similar learning needs. Anyway, at that point, it makes it really easy because when you're preparing for, say, your first group, you're going to pop in the CD that you need for them, and it's going to tell you exactly the words to pull out, what to do with them. It's going to tell you point by point how to teach that word so you're accessing visual memory. It's going to help you, it's going to tell you how to teach other words that follow that same spelling pattern or phonics rule. Is going to provide those words for you so that instead of teaching one snap word, you're going to be teaching 10 or 12 or more at the same time. What I'd like you to do now is go to child1st.com, hover over the reading tab, and click on the last link that says books and CDs. You'll see all of this Beyond Sight Words CDs there. And I want to encourage you to get started today with this. Believe me, your kids are going to thank you. You also can find both our SnapWords and Beyond Sight Words activities on Teachers Pay Teachers. Just go there and do a search for Child1st publications, and everything is going to be right there for you. Get started today.